Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk About It with Yogi Hamm. I'm Yogi Hamm. Welcome. It's my garage. When this is where we talk about crapping with the night. Ooh, we're talking about something. Ooh, scary boys. The death ship of Platte River. Yeah, that's out there over in Wyoming. Yeah, you know where that's at? That's like, and it's always, this ship, I'm gonna tell you what happens. Sometimes out on that river, somebody will be out there doing something like fishing or trapping or farming or cutting down trees, stuff like that. And then all of a sudden there'll be a mist out there on the river. And you'd be like, that's weird, I ain't seen mist like that before. And all of a sudden, here come this big sailing ship out of the mist. And it's all frosted over. Everything's frozen on it. There's big old icicles hanging off the mast. But what happens then is the person that's seeing it, all of a sudden, they're looking at it like that. And then they see like a crew come out. And they're carrying a canvas. They're carrying a body on the canvas. And when they get to a certain part on the top of the ship, they lay that canvas down and move back. And that's when the person over here that's seeing it, that's looking off, seeing that ship, he'll see who it is on that canvas. And it's always somebody they know. And then that person in real life, they croak that day. Like that. And but this has always been in late fall. Every time it's been seen, it's been in the late fall. And it's always like between, it's over at Wyoming, right? It's over between Alcova and Torrington. Yeah, between them, it's accompanied by that weird fog and that. I don't know if there's wind going. When I do that, I feel like I need to make wind noise. I didn't need to. We could have done without it. It was too late. Okay, so here we go. Here's them guys that saw it. Here's some reports. First report is in 1862. Is this trapper guy? There's a trapper guy, and he's out there, and he's next to the river checking his traps. And his name Leon Weber. And he saw that mist rolling in. He's like, well, that's peculiar. What's going on with that? And then that ship come flying out of there, boy. And he was like, what the hell is that? That big old ship. And then it looked like a pirate, them old sailing ships. And it's all froze. And then he's standing there and he's looking at it and he's, what the hell's going on? And then the crew come out. That crew come out and he said, well, who's them guys? And he's carrying something. And he said, what's that? What is that they carrying? And then they move out the way, and guess what it was? Is that canvas and that body laying on there was his fiancée. And he's like, she can't be on that ship. She's back over there. And then the ship disappeared back into the mist, and the mist disappeared. And then he went all the way back home, boy. Fast as he could, he went flying. And when he got home, he found out, his fiancée had just croaked. Croaked that day. Yeah. And the next reported sighting was 1887. And there was this cattle guy. This guy had a bunch of cattle, and he's out there working with them, out in the field right there next to the river. And then his name Gene Wilson. And you go look it up. And then, but old Gene, he's out there, and the ship all gone. Here come that mist again. Here come that big old mist. And so he's standing there looking at that mist. Here come that ship out. I've already described how that happened several times. But, so he saw that crew bringing something out. And next thing you know, the body on the canvas was his wife. Dun, dun, dun. Edit that out. That's stupid. Okay, but And when he hurried up and got on his little horse there, and then he ran right there that horse home. And again, I can't make a horse noise, but he's just going over there. He got home. She had just croaked. Next, in the 1903, a guy named Victor Habby. He was on his land. He chopping down a tree. Was I trying to do Italian? Chop it down. He chopping down a tree. What the hell was that? Learn to talk. Where my work, just edit it out. So yeah, old Victor Habby, he's out there chopping down a tree in his yard. And when he stopped to take a break, he looked up and there's a fog rolling in on the river right there next where he's chopping that tree down on it's his own land. But he's out there and he's looking, he's like, where's that mist coming from? And then that ship come flying out and he's like, what the hell is that? And then he saw them people carrying something. He's like, what are they carrying? Like, yeah, what is that? And then he saw it was his best friend. And you know what? His best friend was scheduled to be executed by decaffeination that afternoon. And it happened. Anyhow, there you go. That's them 3 reports that I found. There might be more out there, but those are the ones I looked at. But yeah, you got to. That'd be crazy. Wouldn't that be crazy? You ever see that? What year was that? What year was that last one? We need to figure out when's the next one. I might go down there and just take a look around. No, you know what? I better not. I feel guilty. If I go up there looking for it and I see it, and then somebody I know croaks, I'm feel bad about that. I ain't going. Yeah, I ain't going. Okay, so there you go. That's what song do you want to go here? From 1969 by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And the song is called Wooden Ships. Wooden ships on the water. Mm-hmm. I don't know the rest of it. But go listen. I like that song. Put you some headphones on. Listen to that. Wooden Ships, Crosby, Stills, Nash. Go do it. Go listen to that. If you want to know more about the death ship of Platte River, go look it up. If you got a good story about it that I didn't talk about on here, put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's get that story out there. If I didn't tell it on here, let's put it on here. Okay. Comment if you want to. Tell us your ghost story if you got one you want to share. You want me to? I'll share it on here too. I'll say, so-and-so sent this in. Here's what happened. Blah, blah, blah. Like that. You know how it works. Okay. I just told you how... one good show. One good dang show. We could. I don't... Bye. Rover's Nipples.